Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Extended warranties. Extended warranties can look very appealing, but it is essential to weigh the pros and the cons very carefully. Now, in today's video, I will break down what you're really buying with these contracts and some things to consider before actually deciding. Today's feature video is from CBS News Sacramento, and I must say, since lately, local news media houses have been carrying news that really matters, talking with regular people, regular everyday people, on what affects them and how they can budget while saving and not wasting precious resources. Community journalism is very important. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and if you have to leave before the end of this particular video, please give us a thumbs up. The algorithm will really appreciate it. Let's dig in.
When you buy a car, often extended warranties are offered.
And when a Lodi woman went to use that protection plan she bought, she says the company was gone, so it was time to call Curtis.
These protection plans usually cost several grand, and they're supposed to fix your car if there are any issues with it. Over the years, we've done stories about quite a few companies vanishing when it comes time to use it. So should you buy one of these protection plans? Mary Wood says the transmission on her 2016 Acura NDX started acting up.
And so I thought, oh, great, now what?
The widow remembered she paid for a 5-year road plan that would cover half of any repair up to $2,000 a year. But then she learned Matrix, the company she paid $2,592 for this protection, went bankrupt.
Oh, that was the last thing I wanted to hear. I was so mad.
Over the years, we've reported on similar companies vanishing.
I feel like I was ripped off.
The company Daryl Hare paid $85 a month, also closed without him using the benefits.
I'd have been better putting it in the bank waiting for the car to break down.
So are these contracts worth it?
Absolutely not. Firm hard no thank you and move on.
Attorney Elliot Kahn says these deals turn huge profits but are often limited in what they actually cover. And he says there is no guarantee the company will be around when you need it.
Okay, let's pause right there. So we're going to start off with the pros and the cons. The video is really short, so we can just slice right into it. Extended warranties. The first one is the potential cost savings. If you need significant repairs, especially for major parts like transmission or engines, extended warranties could save you thousands in repair bills. The other pro is that it gives you peace of mind. Warranties provide a safety net if you're worried about costly repairs after the standard warranty expires. The third pro I can think about is the added coverage. Some warranties cover features beyond the manufacturer's warranty, like roadside assistance or rental reimbursement, which can be useful in case of breakdowns. $2,000 could practically give you a very good certified pre-conditioned car. Well, back in the days, not now, but that's a lot of money. And the last advantage or pro I have here is transferability. In some cases, extended warranties can be transferred if you sell the car. This might increase your car's resale value, and I said might, since the next owner will benefit from the remaining coverage you have here. Let's continue.
So lucrative, how are these companies going out of business?
Eventually, it catches up to them.
He thinks you're better off paying a few $100s before buying a car to have a trusted mechanic inspect it, saving the rest of that money in the event you need a repair, which he says is usually far less than the several $1,000 policy.
My God, at my age, I should have known better.
Because Mary says she got absolutely nothing for the nearly $2,600 she paid for peace of mind.
You used me. Don't do this to people. It's just not right.
In the Chapter 7 filing, Matrix listed it owed $57 million, but only had $6 million on hand. That means anybody owed money, most likely, will only get pennies on the dollar.
We looked at the pros, now let's look at the cons. And the number one is the big one, the high cost. As you see here, $85 a month and $2,000 per year. What these two individuals mentioned earlier is not much of a small amount of money. It could go do a lot more for them where resources are concerned. And these warranties often cost thousands of dollars upfront, with some plans also charging monthly premiums. For many, the repair costs might not justify the initial expense. The second con is the limited coverage. Some warranties don't cover everything you might think, and it's important to read the fine print very closely. Exclusions like certain wear and tear items are very common in those contracts. Next up is company reliability. As seen in many cases, including this one, warranty companies can go bankrupt, leaving customers with no coverage despite upfront payments. The industry has seen several cases where companies folded, leaving consumers stranded. But this might be the intention. Collect as much, and when a huge claim or multiple claims are made, then you just file bankruptcy, dissolve, and move on to the next scam. Elderly people are often the ones caught in much of these scams. The fourth one I have here is there can be a complex claim process. Filing a claim can involve significant paperwork, and many companies scrutinize claims to limit payouts. Some require pre-authorization, adding hassle to repair situations. I had a similar case where I needed to change the turbocharger on my previous car, and when I called the dealership, they gave me the number for the company who had the third-party extended warranty. I actually bought the third-party extended warranty through the dealership, so it was obvious I recalled them. Then they advised me to call the local shop in my area who would fix the repair. I had to do all the legwork to find the local shop, have them diagnose the problem, and then be in contact with the warranty company to see if the repair is authorized and how they can and will expect payment. The back and forth plus the time taken out of your day, especially if you reside a few distance from the nearest authorized service center, it's just a hassle. But take a look at this reel from Cars with Pierce. All credit goes to the content creator, and I will leave the link to his channel in the description box so you can check him out. Take a look at this.
So this YouTuber just found out how much his Tesla Model S Plaid has depreciated in the past 2 years, and he couldn't believe how much money he's lost. This is Kyle Connor, otherwise known as Out of Spec Reviews, and he bought his Model S Plaid back in 2022. Here's his sticker. He paid $140,000 when the car was brand new. He just had his car appraised by Tesla. Wait till you see how much it's depreciated compared to a gas car. So with just 37,000 miles on the odometer, Tesla offered him a whopping $46,400. That's a loss of $94,000 or 67% of its original value. The appraisal came straight from Tesla, so it could be a lowball offer. But even sites like Edmunds or Consumer Reports wouldn't give him more than $59,000 at the absolute highest. I did us all a favor and found a comparable gas car to compare the depreciation. The BMW M5 CS came out in 2022, the same year, for around $140,000, the exact same price. It's not a perfect comparison, but they're both saloon performance sedans. If you go on any of those sites I mentioned, you can buy the M5 CS for $140,000 today, meaning this car has depreciated maybe $10,000. The examples keep coming. Lesson here, if you're gonna buy a Tesla, an expensive Tesla, don't buy it brand new. Let someone else eat the depreciation for you.
And this is important as used cars loses value. That's the point I want to make. Not as quickly as EVs, but I do hope you get the drift. Imagine paying for an extended warranty for a depreciating asset. I think you might be better off setting aside money in an emergency repair fund with regular maintenance. Many car issues can be prevented, and the fund can act as a DIY insurance for repairs. This is why making an allocation for the cost of repairs when buying a car is super important, and also why I always promote you buying a car using disposable income. These add-ons may not be in your budget, and this is how some dealers actually get you and the repo man later on. But here are some practical tips I came up with. Get a pre-purchase inspection. Have a mechanic inspect your vehicle before you actually buy it. And this upfront cost can help you avoid unexpected issues down the line. And this is particularly with used cars. I'm talking here specifically. Check the warranty company's reputation. Investigate the company's history and reputation before purchasing that car. Reviews are very important. BBB rating and financial stability actually matter. Calculate repair costs versus the warranty cost, and to consider your car's make, model, and expected repair cost. High reliability vehicles may not need the extra protection, while older or more complex models might need it. Extended warranties aren't always a waste, but they're also not guaranteed to pay off. A balanced approach, setting aside repair funds and regular maintenance, can often achieve the same goal without the risks associated with third-party companies. But as the world turns, so do the scams, and they keep evolving. I can't reiterate this over and over, but we have to keep trying, and it is the reason why the information is so much more important these days. We have a lot of it. I think we have information overload, but we're too distracted actually look at the things that really matters. But as usual, please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to grab a copy of my ebook, The Parts Manager Guide. Please smash that like button on your way out. It'll only take you 1.5 seconds to do so. Until next time.